Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your night to join me. I really appreciate that. I'm like 20 minutes behind my schedule here. I'm supposed to be outside in my kitchen making hamburgers, but the video that we just shot went like 7 minutes over. So here we are. It's been kind of busy for me. This week will be busy. It's gonna be fun. I'm happy the first day is over. It was so hot today. It was insane. Tonight we're talking about meal delivery, and link in the description below. There's a really cool video that discusses in depth the economics of food delivery. And so, if you out there have, a HelloFresh or a Blue Apron or a Factor or any other kind of home subscription meal kit, then this vlog is definitely for you. And once more, thank you very much for watching my channel. I make 4 videos a day, and recently we just passed 1,000 subscribers, and there's 500 videos on the page, so there's more than enough content to hopefully get you through your night. Sometimes, most of the time, I fall asleep watching YouTube videos. Yeah. I don't have much going on, but anyways, meal kits are a new service that is similar to the way DoorDash and Uber started, in that essentially it's just an influx of capital from a whole bunch of rich dudes giving it to what I would assume to be other little greedy millennial guys with their hands out waiting for some money on an IPO so that they can give themselves $1 million bonuses and not really worry about the actual company that they would like to disrupt an industry. This is in fact the case with meal delivery kits, meal delivery services, meal delivery subscriptions, whatever you want to call them. It's interesting because now is the best time to be a customer or consumer of this rapidly growing industry that will eventually, I'm assuming, falter. If there's a program called Meals on Wheels that has long been in operation, which is very similar to what some of these meal kit companies provide. However, what's better with Meals on Wheels and other programs like that for low income people is that they are paid for on a way cheaper basis, and they actually get hot meals delivered, which is not the same as getting a bunch of pre-portioned and packed out ingredients to assemble yourself and then cook, and or have a frozen dinner delivered to your house. They sell those at the grocery store too. So the economics of meal delivery kits and their subscription is that, like, if you're gonna do it now, because I don't think they're going to be around, much longer. Honestly, I mean, venture funding, capitals funding, it runs out eventually. I think Blue Apron will be a company that they do other stuff, so they'll be okay. And HelloFresh owns 78% of all the market share, and that's not just through their company, but also through the consolidation of eating up other smaller competitors, so subsidiaries or subsidiary companies. And so, regardless, do it now. I know that, for example, there will be a time, and I anticipate soon, that food delivery obviously will be replaced by self-driving cars, things of this nature pretty soon. And so I think that's what a lot of the big tech guys are looking forward to, right? Is that instead of building a good infrastructure for employees and so forth, I think a lot of that discussion is focused on the future of just how much longer human beings are going to be a part of the equation. I know that's weird to say, but I really do believe that to be true. Because with food delivery, the margins are low, nobody makes any money. In a few years, nobody's going to want to deliver food for what is being offered, either from the consumer as a tip or the company that doesn't want to employ you but will happily contract you out as an independent contractor. And yeah, so that instead of that model being fixed, I feel like a lot of big tech people are just gonna, use self-driving cars and pickup points and things like that, and that's gonna make food delivery a lot easier, for hot meals in specific, right? But meal subscription kits they sell and currently are being run at a loss, which is, I guess, the whole point of what I had said over the last few minutes is that these companies are operating at a loss that they will never be able to recoup from. Just based on some of the graphics below in the video, link in the description, it shows pretty clearly that any meal delivery kit company can't even retain its customers for greater than a year without literally having a 90% decrease in their customer base. So, I mean, I'm not the guy who has like a bunch of successful companies. In fact, I'm the guy that has many, many unsuccessful companies. But learning from failing is key in that I'm happy I've not yet succeeded, honestly. I can tell you though that looking at these graphs and looking at these numbers, it's downright criminal that in that people are given this kind of opportunity to make businesses work that will never work. Again, more of on the rideshare stuff and the food delivery on hot food, drivers will be replaced sooner than later on both fronts. And I look forward to that too because I don't like human beings being used as pawns for other human beings, in that if we can make it better for us, it would be to replace these jobs immediately that we ask human beings to do, that are really terrible jobs that pay nothing and that are really dangerous. Switch those out with automated driving and people walking down, to meet a car somewhere that doesn't have a person in it and only their food or whatever, on any front. And that's, again, including rideshare stuff, where in 10 years, my Uber out in Alaska will be, an unmanned car. Like, that's where the industry is going. That's the only way it'll remain profitable. And it still will only remain profitable for a few people that have the access to this best kind of technology. I heard Musk the other day talking something about incorporating, EVs in his line with rideshare services, and that's great. That's a great idea that Tesla owners are going to be able to profit from their cars when they're not being used. And I think that's a good idea, actually, and it'll work really well for that company. It's super niche, but it'll catch on, especially with younger people. I'm a middle-aged guy myself who's very used to just not talking to any human being at all, getting car reservations, going out on my own, doing everything with little to no talk with an actual person. So, meal kits, unfortunately, are something that will fade away. And I think if you are interested in this kind of service, now is in fact the best and only time to reach out and see what some of these companies provide. Now, keep in mind that it's saves you the trouble from going to the grocery store, yes, but is it really cheaper? Not really. No, not really. And in fact, nothing will ever beat going out to the grocery store, purchasing raw ingredients and making your own food. This is, I mean, I have thought and I have sought, year after year in my life how to best be most effective in how I spend money as it concerns the intake of food that's going in my little body. And I know I'm a super nerdy guy, and maybe a lot of people don't think about that, but I do. And I think about how much it costs per meal. I do all the time. And I have quickly learned that grocery shopping is the only way, as a middle class person, lower middle class, to like survive. Really, it's not just cheap, but it's the only way that some people can live. And yeah, so meal kits, again, are something I think, unless they're subsidized, which actually isn't a bad idea. It's not a bad idea for the federal government to subsidize food meal delivery kit service companies. I mean, if it's going to help Companies like Meals on Wheels and other like church places and secular places that go out of their way to help low income people, whether they're disabled or just senior citizens and have limited income. I mean, that's actually a good business model. I mean, I think if those companies want to stay around for a long time, that's something they should probably consider. I know the whole farming industry runs off of Uncle Sam and the subsidies provided by Uncle Sam. That's just the way the world works. If the federal government didn't subsidize farmers, then we'd all be in a great amount of trouble. And that's just a true statement. So it's important that the government subsidizes some things. And coming from a social capitalist, I'm not even saying to socialize that part of an industry that can be fixed and that can be done. And if it needs to be paid for, it needs to be paid for. That's fine. But it should be paid for in a way that subsidizes the costs that it would require a low income or disabled person to get that better price so that they can actually afford it, and then the rest on over from the government. Again, that's a pretty good relationship with private and public in that shaking a hand, and not to mention that the benefits from shaking that hand are so great in that people that have little to nothing can eat at a reasonable and affordable price to them and their circumstances. I think that's really important. So, link in the description below. There's this. It's really cool. All these really cool videos discussing meal kits and the economics of them and so forth. I hope that you guys have a really good night, and we'll see everybody really soon. All right, bye.